Hey there, beautiful. Yes, I said that. And I mean it. Because if you're over 60 and you've ever found yourself wondering if your attractiveness is something of the past, if you've looked in the mirror and thought, that younger me was so much more beautiful, or if you've ever caught yourself quietly thinking that your time to turn heads or leave an impression has passed, I want to talk to you. You see, real attractiveness doesn't come from wrinkle-free skin, a particular dress size, or even from the color of your hair. It comes from something much deeper, something that life has shaped over decades, something that, believe it or not, has only grown stronger with time. So, today I want to gently walk you through 10 signs that you're secretly one of the most attractive older women. Yes, you, even if you don't believe it. These signs go beyond what most people talk about. They're not based on trends or what the fashion magazines say. They're based on truth, experience, and the kind of beauty that only comes with time, resilience, and authenticity. Let's get started. This might surprise you, but one of the most magnetic traits a woman can possess has nothing to do with how she looks. It's how she carries herself. And if you're a woman over 60, chances are you've developed a quiet kind of confidence, even if you're not always aware of it. You've walked through storms. You've survived loss, heartbreak, health scares, career shifts, raising families, maybe even caring for others while putting yourself last. And through it all, you've learned how to stand. Maybe not with your shoulders back like the movies tell you to, but with a kind of groundedness that others can sense. There's a calm in the way you walk into a room, a steadiness in your eyes, a peace in the way you let silence sit. And here's the thing, people notice. Researchers from the University of Melbourne found that confidence, especially in older adults, significantly enhances perceived attractiveness. It's not always loud or flashy. Sometimes it's subtle, like the way you don't rush your words, or how you're comfortable making eye contact without feeling the need to fill every silence. And even if you still feel insecure from time to time, because we all do, you've likely mastered the art of not letting it control you. That's captivating, rare, and beautiful. Let's be real. When we're younger, so much of our energy is spent trying to fit in, to be liked, to meet someone else's idea of what's desirable. But when you're past 60, something beautiful starts to happen. You begin to shed the performance. You say what you mean. You don't tolerate nonsense. You know what you like and what you won't put up with. And that kind of honesty is magnetic. It draws people in. A study published in the journal Personality and Social Psychology Bulletin found that people who are perceived as more authentic are also viewed as more attractive, not because of how they look, but because they seem trustworthy, real, and emotionally grounded. And let's be honest, when someone is real, when they're unapologetically themselves, you remember them. Think about the women you've admired most in your life. Were they perfect looking? Probably not. But I bet they were real. And I bet they made you feel safe to be yourself too. That's what you give to the people around you. Your authenticity isn't just attractive, it's healing. And that, my friend, is unforgettable. This one might not sound like a beauty trait, but trust me, it is. In a world where everyone's rushing, scrolling, half listening, and half present, someone who knows how to slow down and really see you, that's powerful. And older women, especially those who've lived through decades of conversation, connection, heartbreak, and love, often develop this almost magical ability to make people feel important. You've probably had people open up to you out of nowhere. You've probably had younger folks say, "I don't know why I'm telling you this, but that's not accidental. It's because your presence feels safe." You ask follow-up questions. You remember little details. You listen, not just to reply, but to understand. And neuroscience backs this up. Studies have shown that people who exhibit high social presence activate emotional response systems in others, meaning Your ability to be present actually makes people feel emotionally satisfied and connected. It's deeply attractive. You may not see it when you look in the mirror, but it shows up in the way people look at you when you speak. It shows up in the ease people feel around you. And in a world starving for connection, your ability to truly see others is one of the most beautiful traits you carry. This one is so important. We live in a culture that tells women from a very young age that beauty has an expiration date, that aging is something to fight, hide, or feel ashamed of. But when a woman reaches a point where she starts embracing aging, not just tolerating it, but genuinely owning it, that's when something incredible happens. Her face softens, her energy expands, and she starts to glow. Not in the magazine kind of way, in the deeply human kind of way. An article in The Guardian featured a piece about older women who stopped dyeing their hair, stopped covering up their wrinkles, and started showing up more fully in their natural selves. And what happened? They didn't fade, they shined. Because when you stop chasing youth, your energy becomes less about competition and more about connection. Less about fear, more about freedom. You begin to dress for how you feel, not to impress anyone. You speak with intention, not to be liked, but to be real. You move through the world with a grace that comes from self-respect, not from trying to be 30 again. And yes, people notice. There's nothing more attractive than a woman who stopped apologizing for her age and started celebrating it. Here's something that only comes with time: emotional intelligence. The ability to regulate your own emotions, respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively, read the energy of a room, and adapt with grace. That's not something you're born with. It's something life teaches you. And if you're over 60, chances are you've earned that skill the hard way. Maybe it came from decades of marriage or parenting. Maybe from heartbreaks that taught you how to set boundaries. Maybe from caregiving or loss. But now, you know how to pause before you speak. You know how to hold space for others without losing yourself. You know how to navigate conflict without throwing gasoline on the fire. That calm, wise presence is uniquely attractive in ways youth simply can't match. Dr. Lisa Feldman Barrett, a neuroscientist and psychologist, has written extensively about how emotional granularity, the ability to identify and name emotions accurately, increases with age and correlates with better relationships, greater resilience, and yes, deeper connection with others. So, when someone talks to you and you really get them, when you say the thing that makes someone say, "Wow, no one's ever put it that way before," that's emotional intelligence. And whether you know it or not, it draws people to you like a lighthouse in the fog. Fashion is what's trending this season. Style is what fits your soul. And when a woman reaches a certain age, she starts dressing not for approval, but for self-expression. She knows what colors bring her alive, what fabrics make her feel at ease, what silhouettes reflect her confidence. And that's not just personal taste, it's a quiet kind of artistry. When you walk into a room wearing something that feels right on you, even if it's not in any magazine, people notice. Why? Because you look like yourself. And authenticity always shines. A study in the Journal of Fashion Marketing and Management found that older women who developed a signature style reported significantly higher self-esteem and were consistently rated as more attractive by peers than those trying to follow younger fashion norms. You've likely had years to experiment, to ditch the clothes that made you feel invisible, and embrace the ones that make you feel seen. And even if you don't think of yourself as stylish in the traditional sense, your style tells your story. Maybe it's the way you accessorize. Maybe it's how you rock silver hair with a bright scarf. Maybe it's how you carry your purse or your smile. But the care you've put into choosing what you wear and how you present yourself, that's powerful. And attractive isn't just about what's flattering. It's about what feels true. And you, my friend, wear truth well. There's something magnetic about a woman who no longer needs to be the loudest voice in the room. You've seen it before, right? That woman who isn't trying to impress anyone, but somehow, when she speaks, people lean in. When she walks into a space, it gets just a little quieter. That woman is often over 60, because by now, she's learned that attention is overrated, but presence is everything, and people are drawn to presence. You may have no idea how captivating your calm is, the way you can sit quietly, sipping coffee, lost in thought, and someone nearby feels soothed just by being near you. That's not coincidence, it's your energy. It's the wisdom in your silence. It's the way you don't over-explain yourself. A 2021 piece in psychology. Today explored how unintentional charisma often develops in older adults who've stopped trying to control how they're perceived. That's you. You're not chasing approval. You're not trying to be perfect. And ironically, that's what makes you irresistible. Because in a world full of people trying to prove their worth, your quiet confidence becomes a breath of fresh air. Let me tell you something that's way more attractive than any beauty cream on the market: curiosity. A curious mind is alive, it's vibrant, it glows. And one of the most overlooked traits of attractive older women is that they still wonder. You ask questions, you still want to learn new things. You might be taking up watercolor painting, trying out a podcast, reading about history, learning Italian, or just figuring out how your new smartphone works without throwing it out the window. That spark you carry when you're engaged in something new, that's deeply magnetic, because when you're curious, your face lights up, your eyes widen, your energy shifts. According to a study by the University of California, Davis, people who maintain curiosity throughout aging tend to be perceived as more vibrant, mentally flexible, and emotionally open, qualities that strongly affect how attractive others find them, especially in social and romantic contexts. So, if you've ever worried that aging might dull your shine, remember this: it's your spark that matters. And the fact that you still ask why, still want to grow, still laugh at things you don't yet understand, that's what keeps you radiant. You've lived, you've loved, you've failed, you've rebuilt. And in a world obsessed with filters and fast takes, your lived experience is one of the most attractive things you have. Why? Because people crave depth. They want to connect to something real. And you, with your stories of wild love, quiet mornings, career pivots, childhood memories, and maybe even a few rebellious phases, you have that. Maybe you don't share your stories often. Maybe you think people aren't interested. But let me assure you, they are. Young people especially are starved for role models who have walked ahead and are willing to speak honestly about what they've learned. And when you open up, not just to give advice, but to truly connect, you become magnetic. An article in The Atlantic talked about how intergenerational friendships are becoming more sought after, especially by younger adults looking for wisdom, grounding, and emotional stability in an uncertain world. So, when you tell someone about the time you made a hard choice, or how you overcame something difficult, or even just what you learned from loving the wrong person, you become unforgettable. Because people don't connect to perfection, they connect to realness. And your stories, your history, your scars, they make you breathtaking. Let's end with the most powerful sign of all. You've stopped waiting for permission to feel beautiful. You no longer need someone else to validate your worth. You've learned to sit with yourself, flaws and all, and say, I am enough. That shift is quiet. It's often invisible to the world, but it changes everything. You start choosing joy over perfection, rest over guilt, peace over proving. You walk into rooms not wondering, will they like me, but knowing, I like me. And the ripple effect of that self-love is stunning. You smile differently. You take up space differently. You attract people who see you, not just your appearance. And you begin to shine, Not because you're trying to, but because you've stopped dimming your light. Science has confirmed again and again that self-compassion is directly linked to increased attractiveness. When you treat yourself kindly, others sense it. When you're not at war with yourself, others feel safe around you. So if you've been learning, slowly, bravely, day by day, to love the woman you've become, I hope you know this. You are not just attractive, you're radiant. So, what does this all mean for you? It means that attractiveness is not about looking a certain way. It's about living a certain way. It's about the energy you bring into a room, the love you've poured into the people around you, the quiet strength you carry, and the light you've kept burning through dark seasons. If no one has told you this in a while, you are beautiful. Not despite your age, but because of it. Your laugh lines tell stories. Your gray hair reflects wisdom. Your hands have held generations. You are not invisible. You are not past your prime. You are in a season of rich, deep, radiant beauty that the world desperately needs. So, here's what I want you to do. Take a deep breath. Hold your head high. And the next time you look in the mirror, don't ask if you're still attractive. Know that you are. Know that your beauty isn't fading. It's evolving. And it's more powerful than ever. If you felt even a little bit seen in this video, I hope you'll let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear which of these 10 signs resonated most with you. Maybe it reminded you of something you've forgotten. Maybe it helped you see yourself with a little more kindness. Either way, your story matters. You matter. And if you know another amazing woman who needs to hear this, please share it with her. Because we rise by lifting each other. Don't forget to subscribe for more warm, honest conversations like this one. And if you've made it this far, thank you. From my heart to yours, stay radiant, stay real, and never stop loving the woman you've become.